Everybody, and welcome to the Mortgage Coach Tuesday morning interview. Every Tuesday, 9 o'clock Pacific, we're here to deliver value. I'm always interviewing amazing mortgage professionals, authors, leaders, top realtors. Today, we have Mr. Wally Elibiary. What's up, Wally?
Hey, how are you? How are you?
Good, man. So you were, I don't know if you realize this, but you were one of our all-time greatest interviews. That first interview and I did, I think, 2 years ago, where you talked about, how to turn leadership into a competitive advantage, is an all-time greatest hit. So really appreciate it, brother.
I appreciate it, man. It's the your show's like the Masters of golf, and I feel like I've got a green jacket, but with that show that we did. So I appreciate that.
Yeah. Well, let's do another one and see if we can one up it.
Yes, sir.
All right, man. So, hey, before we get into that, I want to remind people that we are doing training every day of the week. Every Wednesday, tomorrow at 11 Pacific, we'll be doing a workshop on how to use your mobile phone as a competitive differentiator in the sales tool. Every Friday now, we're focused on productivity. Myself and Todd Bookspan host a call inspired by Darren Hardy's Insane Productivity Program. But it's all about time compression, workflows, anything that can make a mortgage professional more efficient, more effective, more successful. That's what every Friday is about. It is a mastermind. I think two weeks ago, Wally, we focused on CRM. You had some questions and you helped inspire the topic. So appreciate you adding value to that call. But hopefully many of you join. Oh, go ahead, Paul.
As a team, we've listened to Todd's video for at least 3 times so far. Actually, we got a team mastermind this afternoon. We're listening to it again. It's crazy. I've adored Todd from afar and got a chance to talk to him last week. But that guy is so sincere and just overly helpful, which I owe him a lot of thanks.
Yeah, no, he is one of the greats, and both with systems and, to your point, his authenticity in the way that he executes is pretty impressive. So everyone, today the call is all about how to partner with your realtors and turn the prospects that you get through realtor relationships into clients for life. This call will be recorded. It will be uploaded into our YouTube channel. We highly recommend that you share it with your team, share it with your mortgage friends, and watch at least one mortgage coach training video per week. As I mentioned earlier, Wally's all-time greatest hits is in our all-time playlist, so check that out. I got a picture of it right there. Also, Wally and I did a Skype interview, which really inspired this call, and it was I think it was titled something about how you were working 1,500 leads a month. At that particular month, you referred 140 to realtors, and it was a 15-minute call, and I said, hey, well, we got to have a bigger call on this. So that's what really inspired today's call. So with that said, Wally, why don't you kind of, for folks that haven't heard it, they haven't heard the call, they haven't heard you, tell a little bit about your practice and let us know a little bit about how you're doing so far for the year.
Yeah, you bet. So, I've been helping families for about 19 years now, almost 19 years. It'll be 19 years this August. So it's been a very exciting career, but for the first probably 14-ish years or so of those, it's a loan officer in a branch, and then about 4 years ago I became a branch manager and kind of was able to kind of grow my team and grow my brand. Cornerstone has blessed me with such a great opportunity to be able to give me the leverage and the support to grow my team and grow my brand. And as you see from the screens right there, 2012, I'm not knocking, 200 families helped a year, but, I felt like I had more in the tank. I just couldn't figure out a way how to get leverage and support. And back then I had assistants that I tried to hire, and, unfortunately back then it was MySpace, but they would unfriend me on MySpace because I did such a poor job trying to lead them. And trying to build this and trying to grow this in 2013, obviously we launched, I had my first assistant. Kind of slowed me down a little bit, but then the market kind of changed from refis to purchase market, and I had to figure out a way how to build the purchase market business. And I started learning about lead generation and from real estate teams, and was able to go to 45 million to 80 million to 95 million last year. And, we're about 15% ahead volumes wise on 2017 versus 2016, but we're behind on units. My loan amounts are a lot higher. I'm not sure if it's just the real estate teams I'm going after now, but I'm doing more volume with less loan amounts. But you've got to figure out what the best structure is for you and your team. But that's kind of me in a nutshell last few years. And the thing we want to talk about today was lead generation. I definitely do not have it figured out. There's a ton of mistakes that I have made that I keep making and trying to learn from. But there's a combination here of a referral-based lender and a lead generation-based lender. And we're trying to crack that code, bottom line. So there's a lot of figuring it out. I don't know too many other lenders that do this, and if there is, please call me, please contact me, because I love to learn from you. But we're enjoying figuring this out for sure.
Well, you are one of the best at doing it, and I have introduced you to a few mortgage coach members to mastermind with. Everybody, I think it's important to note that Wally loves to learn from his peers. So for those of you out there that do have some best practices to share, and you're willing to be transparent with Wally, just know that he's there to mentor and mastermind together. I also know, and I want to make sure it comes out in this call, Wally, that while we're going to focus it around your realtor partner strategy, you're also really focused and you're upgrading your clients for life systems. And I recently introduced you to Kelly Zitlow and Todd Bookspan so that you could upgrade how you're building clients for life, adding the annual review to your process. So let's make sure that comes out in the conversation. But with that said, I'm going to give you presenter rights because I know you prepared a few slides that would help you explain more about your model, drive some best practices. I do want to throw it out to everyone. While Wally has about, a third to half of the call pretty well prepared, he's got some things he wants to share and show. We will have time for audience questions. So if you have questions along the way, submit those and go to webinar. There is a place where you can submit your questions. I think we will have time to get to any questions that you have. And with that said, Wally, the screen is yours, and looking forward to learning more about your model.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so you guys see my screen okay there?
Yep, we can.
All right, awesome, very good. So, the biggest thing you kind of want to go through here is to ignore the guy in the front. For some reason, I don't know if anybody else goes through this. People call, oh, you're Team Wally. I'm like, no, we're TW. I guess I don't like saying my name. But so the first page, how do I name, a little information there. There's a study that was done that I highly, if anybody's serious about lead generation and going through this, and we give credit to this there at the bottom. So the study that was done was through Leads 360, Sales Optimization Study. So you can Google that, research that. Now, the biggest thing you want to focus on when you're building a lead generation team is turn time, okay? So there's major components when you build a lead generation team. The biggest, most important thing is turn time. Now, you got to have a staff to follow that turn time and build and have that fast response time. But 2013, one thing I was trying to do this lead generation world and the combination of referral-based world, I was doing a poor job at it because I didn't have the staff to be able to run this kind of model. So if you look at to the right-hand side there, the pictures of it, if I got to the lead 24 hours later is, 17% chance that I'll be able to get that application. If it's 5 hours later, it's a 24% chance. If it's 1 hour later, it's a 36% chance. But if you keep going, 3 minutes later, it's a 98% chance. But the biggest thing I want you to focus on is within a minute. So being able to have that within a minute, it's a 391% chance for a conversion rate. That's such a huge, drastic difference between, if I'm in a loan application or if I'm in a closing, or if I'm in whatever I'm doing, if I'm, at a lunch point or with my family, speed to lead is what we call it. And speed to lead is ridiculously important. Speed to the call is the most significant driver for conversion rate. So that's what we kind of break down. If you've got a lending partner as a real estate team, that you've got a lending partner that calls leads with you and helps convert leads into referrals, and also that is simply able to do that, you're going to be able to have a lot higher conversion rate and do more business together. And candidly, I needed to kind of figure out a way that the why behind all this, candidly, is, and just put it out there, realtors feel most lenders are scum of the earth. They feel that a lender is just simply there to, they do all the prospecting, they get all the business, and then us as a lender is just there supposed to take care of it. So I wanted to bring some sort of value to the table that showed that I was different. I wasn't necessarily better, but I was different. If I could focus on me being different, different becomes better over time. So building the lead generation platform and building the lead generation team, even though I've made a ton of mistakes, I'm learning from my mistakes. I'm learning to fail forward, which I consistently do, unfortunately, but I'm learning from it, learning from it. And speed to lead is drastically important. So if you can hammer out speed to lead and have that really constant, then you're able to kind of figure out, okay, great. So I've got to the lead fast. Now, if you figure out your conversion strategy from that speed to lead, you can talk about the success of the calls. So for our model and the studies that show out there, it's usually within the 6th to 7th call. Now, I don't know about you, but me as a lender, I call once, I call twice. If I was brave enough, I'd call 3 times. God bless America. If I didn't have any business going, I might call 4. However, if it was a lot of oomph, it was a lot of passion, drive to motivate myself to do that. But the model that we built and the CRM that we built that allows us to do that now allows us to be able to have where a teammate comes in the office, he or she knows that here's your priority queue. Here's who you're supposed to be calling today. This is call number 5 for John Smith, call number 4 for Patty Sue, call number 9 for Bob Johnson, whatever the person is. This is the real estate team that they belong to. This is the last point of the conversation. This is the property address that they're looking for. So the algorithm behind how we structure this allows us to hit a 93% conversion rate between the 6th and 7th call. We focus on hitting that target point. We focus on, even though that's a 93%, we don't stop there. We built a 9-point contact strategy within the first 10 days, which I'll show here in a second. And that allows us to really, really optimize the amount of leads. I think most people are super stoked and super excited when they get like a 3 to 5% conversion rate when they on lead generation. We're blessed. So far year to date, we're about a 16% conversion rate, and that conversion rate comes from us adding value to the lead from a home perspective, not necessarily just a lending perspective, from a supportive education about the market perspective, not necessarily just, hey, I want an app. But there's a great book by Gary Vaynerchuk called Jab, 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 Right Hook. And I took that same mindset for the sake of referrals in a database type of business, and it was add value, add value, add value, add value, ask for the business. So I also look at it like a bank account. I look at every client or every individual as a bank account. Deposit, 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 withdrawal. You cannot take a withdrawal from day one because you never made a deposit. So most people look at lead generation, unfortunately, I believe, in the wrong way. They call a lead, they try to get an appointment. They call a lead or try to get an application. If you come from our team slogan is mortgage lending with a servant's heart. If you come in at the leads with serving, helping, adding value, educating, and we do that with not only the phone aspect of it, but there's a great social media company that we target, that we partner with called Target Socially. Target Socially takes my videos that I've made for them and embeds them on these leads' Facebook pages. Embeds them on, and then we do use a vehicle called BombBomb that sends out the videos. So we use something called Ring Central that sends out the text to them. So we're adding value consistently to these leads, which allows us to have such a high 16% conversion rate. So now you've seen from how fast we call. Now you've seen how many times we call, and then from there it kind of gives you a breakdown of our strategy. Okay. So the strategy, which all these attachments, you don't have to write any of this down, but all these attachments will Dave has put together for you to kind of be able to kind of see. So
hey, real quick, Wally, just to connect the dots for folks, Wally was kind enough to take some of the slides, the scripts, and he provided them in handouts. So we have had a number of folks ask for slides, but not only will the slides be in the handout section, but so will some of the scripting that Wally is sharing. So just wanted to make sure everybody connected the dots on that, Wally. Go ahead.
Yeah, and Dave, keep interrupting or keep stopping because I can yip you out about this for hours. So help me connect these dots. I'm just gonna chit chat.
10-4.
So yes, sir. So we talked again. So we talked about how fast we contacted leads, how many times we contacted leads. Now let's talk about how we contacted leads. So I gave you the why, I gave you the how, I gave you the what. Now this is the how many. Okay. So here's the whole entire breakdown of how we built this whole strategy. And as we kind of built this whole strategy from day one, now if you look at the bottom section there, it says minutes. So a text automatically goes out within the first minute, and also a call automatically goes out within the first minute. So most people's questions are, well, man, you've got somebody sitting right then and there waiting to make the call within the first minute? No, that's not what we have. So there's a structure called Ring Central. It's not mine. It's something I've just learned from Analyze. And you can use Ring Central as a platform. And Ring Central, when the lead comes in, I'm blessed to have 6 people on my team, on my production team total. And those 6 people on my team, on that production team total, once that lead comes in, it rings all 6 people's phones. And once someone picks up, it dials out. So once it dials out, it's usually within the first minute. On their phone, it tells them who the client is, who the lead is, who the realtor is, what house they're looking at, and what information they're looking at from there. So they contact it out within the first minute from there. Now, if for some reason the client didn't pick up, the next step would be is an email would go out within the first 20 minutes. And that's a bomb email with a video from me to them. And it's tracked where I can see if they've opened it, how long did they watch the video, did they forward it, or did they never even open it? So then that helps me figure out who is my hottest lead from that batch of leads that we got that day. Then within that 30-minute window, another call goes out. It's a proactive call that goes out instead of a reactive call with the Ring Central, a proactive, a human's making the call within the first 30 minutes to 60 minutes. And at the same time, another text goes out. Then again, another call goes out. Then another text goes out. So within the first 120 minutes, you've got 3 calls, 3 texts, and 1 email. So these, and you've got the mindset of Ring Central is a great vehicle to use, and the Ring Central is awesome from the fact of it's able to call from different phone numbers. It's able to call with local phone numbers. So, I'm in Dallas, so you've got a 214 area code, a 972 area code, and you can call from that specific lead. So if the lead has a 214 area code, it will call, Ring Central will call out, it will mirror and match that same area code. Because you never want to have like a Austin 512 area code calling a lead from a 972 area code that most likely they won't pick up. So for some reason, if we have not been able to get a hold of this lead and add value to this lead with 3 calls, 3 texts, and an email within the first 120 minutes, the next day an email goes out. The next day a call goes out. The next day another email goes out. And you kind of notice there's a pattern. The pattern when the call goes out and a text goes out. And at the same time, what's being mirror and matched behind the scenes is social media. So what's great about Facebook, if you know Facebook well, is that you can do this. We do the same thing with our database, our past clients. We used to mail on mailers, but what we do, we post on their wall, their Facebook wall. We embed videos on there. So I don't remember the exact specific term, but this company that we use, Target Socially, does an amazing job at that. So, and they're a company that coaches loan officers, and they're a company that coaches real estate teams to be able to build how to do lead generation, but through social media and attacking these leads or targeting these leads socially, not just targeting these leads through the phones. So you kind of see the target strategy there. And what's great about that is there's not the real estate teams that we work with, the number 1 real estate team, each market center or each city around me, they run very similar models. So I've learned so much from the real estate world. I've restructured it into TW, and I've built a proactive lending partner team that allows me to refer referrals back and or get leads from business coming in. So, here's kind of a breakdown of the numbers, okay? So this was, what month was this? This is the month of June, okay? So the month of June, on looks like May 29th, I believe we had a dialing party, okay? So you heard me correctly, a dialing party. We made almost 900 contact attempts that day. In one day, 900 contact attempts, which is just cray-cray. It's a lot, if anybody knows lead generation law. So these numbers here, you've got 10,755 calls. You've got 1,941 spoke to, so people that we've had conversation with, almost 2,000 clients. Committed to apply was about 200. And the thought process there is you've had applied is about 115. So the 115 applications that we got. So if you run our lead generation model, full transparency, and you got to understand, you've got to make sure you've got a very solid credit repair person. And this is a mistake that we made in the beginning. So this is all like hunky-dory, this is awesome, but let's talk about some of the mistakes I made. So some of the mistakes I made was I underestimated the amount of credit repair clients that you'd have through this. And also I've underestimated how many credit reports I'd have to run, I'd have to pull through. So when you've got this and you've got a really, really strong credit repair person that you've got, because you're going to get some people that are going to be in the 400 credit score range that apply that obviously you can't do much with. But you're going to get some folks that are going to be in the 500s, 550s, 580s range, which you can do a lot with like say 2, 3, 6 months of credit repair, and you're building a funnel. So if you think if you're building a business, if you want a fast amount of closings for the amount of time, go call your database, go find a realtor. If you're wanting to build a lead generation vehicle that if you build in 2017, 2018, 2019, 2020, you're really going to flourish really, really strongly, then lead generation will help you there. But these credit repair clients, which comes up to about 33% of the amount of applications that you have coming in, you're going to be able to have you want to have a strong credit repair partner that you have with you that helps you, that helps them get back into the trenches and helps them repair their credit. Because one thing we've noticed is that from the credit repair world, about 35, almost 40% of clients actually really get their credit, really do something with their credit, and only about 25% can get over, a 620 or a 600 credit score range. So the mindset I want you to have there is have a great credit repair partner that can help you get over that hump with credit repair clients. But then you're going to find clients that are going to buy houses cash, or you're going to find clients that in your lead gen pool they already have a lender and they're happy with their current lender, no worries whatsoever. And you're going to find clients that you can pre-qualify and then refer back to your real estate teams. All three of those: the cash clients, the clients who are another lender, and also the clients that you can pre-qualify. And those, what we did, that in the month of June, we referred back 103 referrals. It was a little bit less than the month prior. We had 144 the month prior, but we referred back 103 referrals to our real estate teams. Now these are leads that they've put together, leads from their lead generation aspects, and they've called, we've worked together. We have weekly pipeline meetings together, calling these leads with them. So a lender referring out 100 plus referrals out that are clients that are, we're not going to make money off the clients that are buying cash. We're not going to make money off the clients that already have a different lender. But you know what? We're doing the right thing. And that's where I'm really proud of, and candidly, we got lucky there. That was never the vision from day one. The vision was always, hey, how can I do more loans? And then we learned that we came across these clients who are buying cash, or came across these clients that were very passionately using their lender. But our real estate teams really appreciated that they had the ability to receive value from us, and that we're calling these leads together and we're converting these leads together and we're building a business together. So, Dave, did I miss anything there you want me kind of tying together?
Well, I thought that was a good setup. I think everybody understands the contact. So couple things. So a couple people have asked about the handouts of the recording. This is being recorded. It will be available on our YouTube channel, so you can watch it, you can share it with team, you can have a meeting around it. If you are missing the handouts in the GoToWebinar control panel, there will also be links in the description in our YouTube channel. So if you look at the video up top, just a few inches below, first of all, there's a place where you can like it and you can share it, but there's also a description, and within that description, we will also have links to the handouts and the scripts. So that answers one series of questions. Wally, I don't know if it's me, but if maybe you could just, I can hear you, but if you could just speak up a little louder, that would be helpful. And then I've got a lot of questions. So by the way, guys, keep the questions coming. One question, this is from Juan. He wants to know how you're integrating Mortgage Coach into your contact points and into your conversion process. So if you could just speak to where Mortgage Coach comes, how you're using it and how often you're using it.
Yeah, absolutely. So Mortgage Coach, what's great about Mortgage Coach is through the mortgage process, I've always said Mortgage Coach was my secret weapon. So that has not changed. When clients that we call in lead generation, the script that we use, it's very simply, if they're saying they're going to go with a different lender or they already have a lender, I'd say, okay, great, well, no worries whatsoever. So we watch the market very closely, and we can offer a lot of clients wholesale rates instead of retail rates. And what I mean by that is that you have the ability to show clients through Mortgage Coach. Through Mortgage Coach, I've got the ability to show clients the value that I can bring with a video from me to them, breaking down the different options that they cover. So most lenders, again, these clients on lead generation are no different than from a referral-based client, where all they have is simply a loan officer giving them a loan estimate with here's your rates and fees. So we pitch Mortgage Coach very, very easily to these lead generation clients and explain to them, hey, Wally's a certified mortgage planner. Imagine being a cross between a financial advisor and a cross between a CPA. So when Wally's going over your options with you, unlike your current mortgage lender, he's going to look at your short-term goals, your long-term goals, and maximizing your tax advantages. Thank you, Todd Duncan. And as we're structuring that, we have a formula that we use, something called a Mortgage Edge presentation. Has your lender provided you a Mortgage Edge presentation? 99.9% of the time, the answer is no. Okay, well, no worries whatsoever. You can use your current lender. Tell me what is your current lender's interest rate, loan program, what they're doing. They tell us all the information. We input all the information that they have from another lender into the Mortgage Coach, and you show them, hey, what is your tax bracket? They tell us what their tax bracket is. Okay, cool, no worries. Well, hey, as a courtesy, because you work with ABC Realty Group, and we want to make sure we serve ABC Realty Group at the highest level, we're going to email you over a Mortgage Coach presentation, and that presentation is simply going to show you how much your principal and interest you're paying, what is your tax benefit, how to structure the loan to have more principal and less interest paid, and then there's a couple different options to simply ask your current lender if they can provide this kind of value to you. Long story short, that lead is going to go back to their current lender and or apply right then and there with us, because we're differentiating ourselves in the lead generation world with Mortgage Coach, just like we would differentiate ourselves in the referral-based business or the database business with Mortgage Coach. Lead generation is no different. Mortgage Coach, if you're not using it for the sake of getting a client away from a different mortgage loan officer, you're hurting yourself. You're hurting your conversion rate. You're hurting your ability. And like I said back in 2014 on our first call, how dare we not serve clients at a higher level if we have this at our fingertips? As simple as that.
What percentage of your leads or your prospects are getting a Mortgage Coach report?
100% of our referrals are receiving Mortgage Coach. 100% of our clients coming in are receiving Mortgage Coach, and 100% of our clients are in process are receiving Mortgage Coach. 100% of our leads that script works on receives Mortgage Coach. I can't send it to every single lead because I don't know what their numbers are if they don't get them to me. But man, if we have an opportunity to get Mortgage Coach in front of someone, it's 100% of the time we push for that.
Got it. So your contact rate if you're able to have a quality conversation where you're getting to second base, or like, hey, let me present some strategies and options there 100% of the time. And then what percent of the time is a video being added to the report when you do a mortgage coach report?
100% of the time. And thanks to you, I use a selfie stick with the dude right there in the middle there in that photo, and it works really well. Yeah, there's the selfie stick on the right hand side there, making the video. And it's a non-negotiable, 110%.
Yeah, and by the way, folks, Wally was kind enough to create this 3-minute and 31-second video. I will put it in chat in a few minutes, but it's how he creates it at his desktop with his mobile phone and his selfie stick. But again, I do recommend all mortgage coaches create that video with your mobile phone, whether you're at your desk or whether you're out and about. It's a better quality video, better quality voice, and it's just a more agile way. It's a better habit to have than just using your desktop camera. So just heads up and a best practice to everyone. So we got a lot of questions. I think you covered some scripting there. I might come back and ask you to net out that scripting a little bit more. Also, if you could talk from a clients for life perspective. So I mean, I think it's pretty clear that, hey, a lead comes in, they understand how you get them on the phone, they understand how you drive them into, a loan app and a referral back to the realtor. By the way, let's cover that before we go to client for life. How do you give it back to the realtor? Give us the handoff back. Like, you have the lender conversation, you qualify them. What does that sound like when you bring them back to the agent? That would be helpful. And then let's go into client for life. How are you using Mortgage Coach after the loan is closed to, maximize past customer referrals?
Yeah, so the biggest thing is, and you'll see my scripts there of how we structure that, and we've structured the whole introduction and referring, finding out the client's motivation, finding out the client's time frame, their cross-selling, what we're kind of looking for there, and here I'll kind of pull it up so I kind of show it to you while we have it.
Yeah, by the way, I gave you the screen back, so if either one you want to show your script, or if there's anything on your desktop that you want to show, it's yours, and we can see your desktop. We see the slide with the performance metrics.
Yeah, and what's you guys will see what our introduction script is, what we kind of focus on, what are some open-ended questions that we ask, and a motivation, finding out what this client's time frame is, what they're cross-selling, and on the lending side of it, if you notice, the biggest last thing we talk about is lending. Remember, it's jab, 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 right hook. It's add value, add value, add value, add value, add value, ask for the business. So we're never ever going to come to a client the first thing on the phone and say, hey, do you want to apply? Do you want to apply? It is just, you meet a girl, you go on a date. I mean, most people don't propose for marriage the first time they date a girl or a guy, or if you do, more power to you. So, and this kind of walks you through a little bit of what the scripts are and how this is structured, and what are some value propositions that we focus on from our team standards, and we also talked about how that we educate them about the market, our value propositions, and about the time frame. I mean, it's super cool. I've got a ridiculously phenomenal ops team here at Cornerstone. Cornerstone provides me with so much great ops support. And we do the pre-underwriting process before a client finds a home, not necessarily after a client finds a home. So when I've got that kind of mindset with a client over the phone and we're talking to these leads, I mean, we're telling them, hey, how many offers out there are you making and not capturing contracts? What's great about Cornerstone is we have a 10-day close. I mean, we can close you in 10 days because of our pre-underwriting process. You'll be able to compete with cash offers and win multiple offer situations. And around the $300,000-$400,000 price point here in DFW, it's going to be multiple offer situations. I mean, probably 7-8 offers on a $300,000 home. If you try to find a $200,000 home, you're probably looking at 17, 20 offers. I mean, if you're trying to, you're even at $700,000-$800,000 homes, it's going to be a multiple offer situation. So this.
Hey Wally, before you go off that, a lot of, and I know you do this, but a lot of mortgage coach loan officers are using the cost of waiting analysis to help create urgency with the home buyer, so that they're going to make the best possible price. Could you just speak to mortgage coach strategies that you use in this this seller's market to create urgency with buyers? Could you just speak to that real quick?
Yeah, absolutely. So we talked about, renting versus buying, and what's super cool about Mortgage Coach, you can walk through that with them. And the leads out there, they're renting houses or renting apartments. We use Mortgage Coach to get them off that hump. We use Mortgage Coach also for the aspect of walking through a client and showing the clients that are second or third time homeowners, and they're saying, hey, I'm thinking about waiting next year. Well, let's look at what rates are doing now. Let's look at what rates are doing next year. Let's look at what taxes are doing now. Let's look at what taxes are doing next year. And if you're not using Mortgage Coach for that kind of platform, showing a client what happened in 2016 to what happened in 2017, then what happened in 2014, what happened in 2015, and kind of showing them the last 2-3 year trend, at least here in Dallas. I mean, if you look at a home, if you bought a $300,000 home, we use this a lot in Mortgage Coach. If you bought a $300,000 home in 2016, and you went to go try to find and buy the same home today, for the same monthly payment, you're looking at buying about a $265,000 house. So I don't know about your market, but Mortgage Coach allows me to have a conversation with a client and show them, hey, the time to buy is now, not wait until next year, because that $265,000 house, you most likely be giving up the pool or giving up that fourth bedroom that you want or that playroom. And what's cool about Mortgage Coach, not only does it see that they're in numbers, so you can speak to an analytical person in that aspect, but then also you can speak to a client in on the heartstrings, where the video allows me to really connect with the client and be able to kind of express at a high level to them. So Mortgage Coach to me are those two biggest assets of the rent to own analysis and or the don't wait to buy analysis.
Thanks, Wally. That was great. Continue with what you were saying, and then I do have some questions from the audience to bring in.
Yeah. I mean, the biggest thing is if I go back to the scripts is, when you're talking to a client and you're talking about how to differentiate yourself, again, I don't know if it's me being a middle child or a Scorpio or what, and I just focus so much on being different, from the silly socks to the bow ties, and I just focus on how to be different. So here's like the top 10 ways that our programs are different, our options are different, TW is different, Cornerstone is different. We focus on how to be different. And my team is built to be different. We speak on a different level. Their leads are converted differently. And we make plenty of mistakes, and we're not perfect. I mean, let's put that out there. But, my biggest thing is, I mastermind with a lot of local people here in DFW, and I get to speak to the Todd Bookspans of the world and learning from other people's marketplaces. And so I just simply say, hey, if you're a loan officer here in Dallas and you want to come by and do a site visit and see what we do behind the scenes, or look at our systems or models, or I'm an open book, because if I hold and or hoard any of this, I'm ridiculously disrespecting the mentors that have helped me build this business, this $100 million business that we're blessed to have. So if there's anybody here locally that wants to either mastermind, just please reach out to me. And I think, Dave, I gave you my email address if whenever you guys want to put that out, but it's not a priority, but at the end. But the biggest thing is focus on how you can be different through lead generation. If 9 people are calling with leads or 90 people calling with leads, and you're saying the same thing to all of them are, it's just going to be noise. So the biggest thing is lead generation is get to the leads fast. Socially, a great company I said that I use is called Target Socially. To socially connect with these companies online. Socially connect with these leads online through Facebook. So targeting them through Facebook, and then add value, then ask for the business. So those are 3 biggest takeaways I really hope you take away from this call.
Love that. Well, hey, we've got about 20 minutes left. Let's hit a few questions from the audience. Ray wanted to know, how do you handle rate shoppers, specifically one with a lower rate in hand from their current lender? How do you handle that?
Candidly, I'm very blessed that Cornerstone has really just awesome rates. So we rarely ever get beat out rate-wise. So that's a great combination to have. but to say if I am, you know, we've got a great free float down option through Cornerstone that we talk about clients of that nature. But you got to also remember these leads are coming from our real estate teams. If you're going to be a lender and you're going to go buy leads online that are not emotionally connected and or connected to a realtor, more power to you. Knock yourself out. I could not do that. I failed at that. Honestly, I didn't even really try at it. But the biggest thing is these leads are connected to a realtor. So if I talk to a client and they've got a rate from a different lender, first of all, I've got to make sure it's apples to apples. Priority number one. Priority number two, I call in reinforcements. I pick up the phone, I call them a realtor. I say, hey, you know, this client has a different rate from a different lender. This lender does not have a conditional loan approval process, does not do the pre-underwriting process. You're just going to be making offers after offers after offers and never capturing a property. Can you help me get this client back on track? And I'm an eighth of a point off on rate, which is $13.42 a month. You know, can you contact this client and make sure that they use us? And then I'll do the conditional loan approval. Then I'll reach out to the listing agent, and I'll help you capture the contract. So the biggest thing is to simply say that is call reinforcements in. There's a reason there's a father and there's a mother. I mean, not too many fathers can raise children by themselves. Not too many mothers can raise children by themselves. But so if you're a loan officer, call your realtor in for reinforcement. Raise a white flag. Don't feel like you've got to do this on your own.
Beautiful. So it takes a village, use the village. And also a reminder, if you had not provided that client with a total cost analysis, you hadn't given them the most valuable experience and really taken the focus off the monthly payment and the rate and put the focus on their longer term goals, which, by the way, is a great segue to another question from Penny, where she said, what are some of the questions you ask to find out their short-term, long-term goals? Is it direct, or do you have a more strategic way to ask it? Because I do think so many loan officers that get rate shopped a lot, you know, they didn't ask those strategic questions. They didn't provide the total cost analysis. And you're going to get that question, and you're going to get rate grinded a lot more if you didn't already take someone through a strategic process. So could you speak to that question again, Wally?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm a big fan of Stephen Covey. If you guys know Stephen Covey, I read a book a week. I love reading, just like Dave said, I love learning. So Stephen Covey, got a chance to meet him once, and he had taught me through his studies that, you know, 7 habits of highly effective people. My favorite habit is to begin with the end in mind. I love vision. I love vision. I love leadership. I love vision. And when you begin with the end in mind, I take the mortgage coach option and I break down for them through mortgage coach. I say, okay, great. So I know you said this is going to be the perfect home for you, and you're going to be there until the cows come home. But then I'll walk them through where they're going to be once they equity position 5, 10, 15 years from now. So a simple question is, I just tell them that was the lady in my script. I'm a big fan of Stephen Covey. I want to begin with the end in mind, 7 habits of highly effective people. So Mr. Client, if you sold your home 5 years from now, what is the equity position you want to be in to be able to accomplish that goal? You can get 20% down on the next home. When do you want to be retired and have your home paid off? So I'm asking why questions. I'm asking vision questions. I'm asking finish line type of questions. So most lenders are not asking these types of questions. So I use my questions. You know, the biggest thing I focus on is what Mortgage Coach allows me to do. My questions are piercing. So when I'm just Swiss cheesing any other lender out there, my questions are piercing. I use the answers I receive from Mortgage Coach, and they're very motivating because it shows them how much money and how much wealth they'll have and where their principal interest structure will be, their tax benefit. And once you have piercing questions, motivating answers, your presence becomes commanding. That presence that you have over the phone, because you're adding so much value, then your success becomes untouchable. That client is with you, that client is committed to you, and that client is with you for life. So again, and this is candidly what I just said is an affirmation that I have on my screen here. My questions are piercing, my answer is motivating, my presence is commanding, which makes my success untouchable. And by structuring it this way allows me to be able to ask these types of questions to be able to convert those types of clients.
Hey, Wally, if you could pull up your screen, I passed it back to you. I was showing a few other images. But I just want to put an exclamation mark around it because that was so powerful. And one of the questions, I asked back in the day when I was an originator, and, I've talked about it a number of times from stage, so I apologize if people have heard me say it before. But it sounds like, Wally, you've got a great version of it, which is just, how old do you want to be when you're homestead free? Home ownership is a goal, but debt-free home ownership is a bigger goal. And then they answer, and then go based off this current loan we're getting or the current trend you're on, how old are you going to be? And usually there's a 5 to 10 year gap. So now when you deliver that total cost analysis and you're showing them how to prepay their mortgage or you're showing them an asset accumulation strategy, you are not just presenting rates and fees, you are strategically helping this family achieve their long-term financial goals. So anyway, that was super powerful. So Wally, we're in the final 15 minutes here, getting a lot of question around, how do you get so many leads? Any scripting, with how you get leads from realtors, how you generate leads yourself, anything you can add on that?
Yeah, I mean, I'd say the biggest thing is, I always felt that I had capability. I always felt I can build this, I can run this, but I never really had credibility in the marketplace. So once I built the credibility in the marketplace, and once the $100 million target was behind me, and that kind of went 80 million, 100 million, it became, I just simply had the credibility in the marketplace. So and I do site visits here in my office. I have script practice meetings or masterminds with my agents. So when they see my systems and models and on my team, and they see that all this legwork that we do behind the scenes, and also that they see the proofs in the pudding and the results that we have, and then also I have one agent talk to another agent as a sounding board or a referral. Getting leads from teams, from real estate teams, is not as difficult as you think. However, now let's talk about, that's all hunky-dory, that's awesome, right? Now let's talk about mistakes that I've made. Mistakes that I've also made are, the biggest one is you've got to work with the right teams. If you're a lead generation lender and you think that you're going to close $100 million off lead gen, man, more power to you. I take off my hat to you. I just can't figure it out. I just can't. So the mistakes that I've made is I've had to let go of some teams that was helping them with the lead generations because they weren't referring back the warm referrals that I need for my business to operate and be profitable and run the business. So, technically, candidly, and I won't say names, but we've let go of 3 teams here in the last 90 days that we're doing lead generation for them, and we're helping them work through the leads and help them convert their leads, but they weren't simply referring back enough business for us to have a profitable partnership, and we just had to cut ties. So keep that in mind as you kind of go down that path, and I'd love to hear kind of success stories or if there are any failures you want to share. Like I said, my email address, Dave will post up. It's just Wally@teamwallyhouseloan.com. Wally@teamwallyhouseloan.com. And if you're local here, feel free to swing by the office and set up a time to meet. But it's just make sure that you're receiving referrals from your real estate teams and don't make a similar mistake like I've done. But candidly, I'm very happy that I made that mistake because then I'm able to learn from it.
Love it. So again, if you have more questions, I'll try to get a few more in. Also, folks, if you have questions that didn't get answered, you can post those in the comments of where I promoted this on my Facebook, and we'll answer them there. All these last 10 minutes, let's talk about clients for life. It's like, hey, you got someone on the phone, you're able to have a quality hopes and dreams conversation with them where you were able to get enough information to provide them a total cost. They got this amazing presentation. They ended up doing a loan with you. Obviously, you had to keep all your promises, deliver great service, deliver a great loan. But now it's time for client for life, and I know You've got some touch points. I don't know where you're at in providing the mortgage coach annual review, but talk about what are you doing to drive customer for life, because I know you've resourced that with a team member lately. And then talk about your vision for delivering an annual review and how you're going to get that customer to keep referring you business and keep coming back every time that they're doing a loan.
Yeah, absolutely. So the lead gen world for me the first few months of the year really blew up, and I probably candidly, this full transparency, I simply grew too fast, too quick. And I'm kind of downsizing that. Well, one of the people on my lead generation team, I approached him, his name is Scott, and I said, Scott, you know, your wife's in insurance, and we're closing another $100 million this year with a ridiculously small number of past clients or database. Like, I've got a target goal of $250 million before I hang up my bootstrap as a loan officer. I want to hit that number, and you know, I don't know why, it's just a cool number to hit, but I can't get there off lead generation only. I can't get there off realtors only, but I feel I can get there with the combination of those three and database. So full transparency, I horribly, I'm not sure if I'm allowed to say the word suck, but I'm really horrible at that, and I'm looking to get a lot better at that. So yes, I have Lori Richardson, Todd Bookspan, they've been kind of coaching and mentoring me, and obviously you, Dave, of, you know, a strategy of how to build Mortgage Coach and use Mortgage Coach as a vehicle to not only after 30 days after closing make sure they get a total cost analysis of their final numbers, which is like cray brilliant. That's just like that, like, was awesome idea. But then also, you know, that tees you up for 11 months from there, having that conversation with the client and doing an annual mortgage review. So that's what Scott's going to manage for you. So Scott's been trained ridiculously well through Mortgage Coach and a team here to reach out, you know, 30 days after closing, introduce himself and with me. Then we're doing the same thing through socially, a video of me and him together, and you know, him and I are both in a tag team, and that's our biggest focus. So I'm really excited. Hopefully you'll have me back on air, you know, 2018, and I'll be able to kind of share my progress with Mortgage Coach and how we've been able to increase our database referrals, our sphere referrals, and through Mortgage Coach and the annual client review. And I'm really excited. You know, I'm so thankful for you, Dave, just simply being able to take the time to introduce me to the Lori Richardsons and the Kelly Bittos and the book spans about the database, because that's something candidly I've struggled with. I mean, I'm a $100 million producer with no database that I get business from. So I really appreciate you doing that.
Yeah, no problem. Well, hey, everybody, next Tuesday at 9 o'clock, I'm going to dedicate the Tuesday call to upgrading your perfect loan process to optimize your clients for life. So, Wally, you know, you're invited to that call. Again, I don't know whether it works in your schedule. I've invited Kelly Zitlow. I've invited Todd Bookspan. I'm going to invite some other top producers. If there's anybody on this call that wants to, you know, be invited to participate in the kind of the leadership mastermind, but it's going to be for everybody. You know, I'm going to lead it, and I'm going to drive what I think are the best practices of a perfect loan process as a mortgage coach. Again, I've had a number of great calls with Tim Brahim. Heck, I'll probably invite Tim to next week's call. And it's all going to be about upgrading your perfect loan process, and I'll say it again, to maximize and optimize your clients for life. And here's one thing I would tell everybody before next week's call, is I would love for you to get really clear on how many past customers do I have. So if you know, write it down right now. And if you don't know, write a question mark that you need to have answered, I would say within an hour of this call. You should know how many past customers you have. And then 2, how many past customers did I close a loan for last month? How many past customers did I close a loan for last year? And then divide those numbers. And that'll tell you what your past customer pull-through rate is on a monthly basis and on the annual basis. And I would just tell you, if the number is under 5%, if your past customer pull-through rate is under 5%, you are massively missing an opportunity to create a residual income business. Because the best of the best are at 8, even as high as 10. And there have been times where I've heard of loan officers with higher than a 12% past customer pull-through rate. So we're going to get really serious about helping our loan officers on the mortgage coach community have the best possible past customer pull-through rate there is. And again, an annual review is a critical touch point to achieve that optimal past customer pull-through rate. But here's what I would like is I'm going to kind of kick off that topic on my Facebook group. We're going to have it. We're going to invite people to it. I want to know what your past customer pull-through rate is now, and then we're going to create some milestones, the benchmarks of where we're going to take that as a community. Wally, by the way, do you know what your past customer pull-through rate is today, or close to what it is?
So you're just going to embarrass me on this call. I see how you are.
Hey,
no,
I know,
I
man.
don't.
It's love. It's love.
No, I just told everybody all the 99 mistakes I've made, but I honestly don't. Which would, if I had to guess, it's probably low single digits, candidly. So I think doing $100 million of production is great. However, with the database, it's basically free business. It's low cost business, and it's warm business. So if you're a lead generation loan officer or a realtor loan officer, I really, really encourage you to be on that call next Tuesday, because I will be in that call. No matter what I've got going on, Dave, I'm going to, Jewel, if you're listening, move it, open up my calendar. Like, I need to be in that call. I don't know how much value I'm going to bring, but I'll be there taking notes for sure.
All right, I love that. Well, it'd be great. First of all, I know if you're on that call, it'll drive value. So I just want to remind everybody that there is a mortgage coach training every single day of the week. Tuesdays are inspirational calls like this. Wednesdays are mobile mastery. Thursdays, Q&A. It's all about just upgrading your habits as a mortgage coach. I want to remind you that all these calls are recorded and uploaded into our YouTube channel. If you haven't subscribed to it, make sure that you do. Last week, I interviewed Todd Bookspan, Win by Noon. Awesome call. Check it out. And again, every topic you could possibly imagine, we've covered it to help you be the best mortgage professional you can. Also, I want to remind folks that I assigned a lot of homework assignments in chat. There's a number of videos that were talked about during this call that I put and I made available. I had a few people ask about what was the book you recommended. I put a link to that in chat. It's Jab, 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 Right Hook by Gary Vaynerchuk. By the way, fantastic. He talks how to do social media, how to be great at social marketing. I love the way you've taken the metaphor and you put it into your, just your business practices with mentoring, and not mentoring, but nurturing and growing leads. So great job on that, Wally. So again, for everybody on here, hopefully you saw how I went to our calendar. It's right here under Connect. Click on calendar, and that will show you all the upcoming calls. And as I said, next Tuesday, we will be talking about upgrading your perfect loan process. Hopefully, we get some volunteers to come in and share. So, Wally, we got 2 minutes left. I love the way you drive the mortgage coach have it out there. For any loan officers on this call that either 1, they have mortgage coach and they're not using it. 2, they're only pulling it out when they get rate shocked, kind of like, hey, I use it once a month. When I get the grinder, I pull out mortgage coach. What leadership do you have? What would you say to them to get them to make mortgage coach a team requirement and deliver a total cost analysis to everyone? How would you say it?
I mean, bottom line, I don't know how many golfers are out there, but man, if there's 3 things to me, it's my family, my God, my business, then golf. So if you're a golfer, this is how it goes. Basically, if you step up to the tee box, or if you're a basketball player, how you shoot a basket, whatever it is. If you step up to the tee box, you step up to the free throw line. If you throw a basket right-handed sometimes, you throw a basket left-handed sometimes, or you throw it granny style, or if you grab a golf club with your right hand, right hand stronger sometimes, left hand stronger. If you're inconsistent with your pre-shot routine, if it's basketball, baseball, football, golf, whatever it is, if you're inconsistent with your pre-shot routine, you're going to have inconsistent outcomes. I've got a very sustainable business that has, it's super cool to say, the first 6 months of the year, every single month, February we close more than January, March we close more than February. Every single month The last 6 months, I've closed more than the previous month. No ups, no downs, no ups, no downs, no ups, no downs. Consistently, I've gripped the club exactly the same on every file. I've shot a basket exactly the same on every file. This is a team standard. This is a non-negotiable. You want to have my ops support. You want to have my brand behind you. You're going to consistently provide a mortgage coach presentation to every client because they deserve it. Let's change the mortgage business together. And the way I'm focusing on doing that is through Mortgage Coach.
Love that. You always say it so well, my friend. So, folks, let us know what you thought of today's call. I just posted a survey question on a scale of, did we wow you and surpass your expectations and value? Was it good? Vote. Let us know what you thought of today's call. Wally, as always, you knocked it out of the park, my friend. Super grateful for all your value, my friend.
All right, guys. Well, I appreciate your time. Look forward to next Tuesday.
All right. Take care, everybody. Have a fantastic day, and we'll see you next Tuesday as well.